G'day. Welcome to a video about the submachine gun. Recently, amongst the veterans, there has been a lot of love going around with the SMG, especially with the most recent tournament. We have seen a total change in meta from single rifles to the SMG. For one, their ability to suppress. When you start firing at an enemy behind cover, if they hit the enemy goes down and ducks, and thus becomes less effective in battle. Second, their higher chance of hitting. Obviously, rifles can miss a lot, and SMGs may miss, but the next shot will most likely hit. Lastly, they have multiple grenades, which is key to winning the start engagement, having one extra AP grenade and also an AT grenade. And lastly, of course, the rate of fire. So having the assault squad meta since AS1, where people have bought assault squads after assault squads as, I guess, the infantry norm, is also a testament to how good the SMG really is. And quite frankly, I am a recent convert and I am sold of the superiority of SMGs to other small arms per cost. I was previously a fan of rifles because of the high chance of shooting at all ranges, thus needing less micro, so I can move a single rifleman to anywhere around the point and it most likely will fire and be a participant in the battle. And also they did get buffed from AS1 to AS2 and their ability also to one shot. But I am convinced now that because the SMG has such a good fire rate and can suppress, plus use its grenades, I think if you can micro them well, they are superior in most ways. The most favoured opening now is with the assault squad plus single SMGs. So at the very start you'll buy an assault squad, run to the flag as soon as possible, then buy some single SMGs and send them to the other flags, or to the same flag, just so you can get the numbers on the enemy, as numbers can win the start battle. Another opening you can do, but is usually not for 1v1s, for team games, is an elite marksman plus single SMGs. These are the most favoured openings by the top players. So just to reiterate the order, buy the assault squad, run to the flag as soon as possible, then buy the single SMGs and then run to the flag. And then afterwards you can split them up as you wish, as you have time to. The key thing is to buy things and move them straight away to the flag points, then sort them out afterwards. Okay, let's get into the boring detail, which I find very fun, and hopefully you do find it interesting, as a lot of this is quite unknown. So what you see here is a graph of the normal SMG, so the ones that come with the assault squads for each nation, and the one you can buy singly. So the ones that are most used, basically. So the stats you see here aren't actual in-game stats, but they are based on in-game stats, which I've kind of changed to a percentage of, based on how important I think that stat is to make a good SMG, basically. So I've weighted it in the following order. I've given the most importance to rate of fire, then health damage, then minus the time it needs to reload, then the travel speed, which isn't really affecting the score. So what you can see here is for the health damage, all of these SMG normals do the same damage, so there isn't really much to compare there. But for reload time, you can see the grey bars are minusing from the score. The Thompson has only got 20 bullets, thus it has more time to spend in reload. And also, other non-known fact is the PPSH has an additional recharge. Basically all the other ones take 3 seconds to reload, the PPSH takes 4 seconds to reload, but the PPSH has a huge clip, so you can see the reload time there is the lowest negative there, because it doesn't have to reload as much, but when it does, it's just a 1 second extra. And travel speed, this is how fast the bullet goes to the enemy when it leaves, but this doesn't really have much effect on the actual performance of the gun. There may be rare chances where an enemy is running at very maximum range and it may miss if the travel speed is the slowest, but they're relatively close, so I don't think it makes a big impact. That's why they are weighted at very low. Then you got the health, sorry, I've mentioned the health damage. Then you got the rate of fire, PPSH definitely knocking the other ones off the park, basically, with the fire rate, with the Type 100 coming in second and the Thompson last. So I'll leave that on there for now. You can pause it if you want to see it in more detail. And here you have the final SMG rating for all the normal default SMGs. You can see in this graph, I've rated the Thompson the lowest, Sten slightly above. Basically the Thompson and MP40 and Sten are all pretty much the same rating. Then you have the Type 100, then the PPSH being superior, and the costs do reflect that in the actual pricing with DMS. PPSH knocking it off the ballpark because of the fire rate. So again, these stats take into account the rate of fire, the travel speed, the recharge time, the ammo clip, and the health damage. And I think it's relatively accurate. And here you have all SMGs. Please note that, remind you that this is my own rating system, which is an opinion that I have made, but I think it's fairly accurate. So including all the SMGs from the elite tier troops, such as the Anzacs, the SNLF, the SAS, etc. So in this one, we can see that I still think the PPSH is rated the highest, then the other PPSH, then the Type 2 from the Japan SNLF is third, Red Guard, Soviet PPSH 43, Type 100, 13, so goes on. The MKV silencer is quite a unique gun, which I'll go to on later, but yeah, this is the rating right there. And here you can basically see how I came up with those numbers and how they're weighted. So you can see the rate of fire contributed the most to the total rating. That's why the PPSH is scored the highest. Then you have the travel speed, which doesn't do much. Reload time gets minused. The PPSH not having to reload as much because of its high ammunition clip. Health damage is an interesting one with the Sten MKV silencer and V having more damage than the other SMGs. And you can see that it's weighted quite a bit, 10 extra points for this silencer, for example, and given a total rating of 58. So this is the order once again. And the reload time is taking into account also recharge time. There's an additional stat in the back end called recharge time, and the Soviet PPSH does take longer to reload by 4 seconds. So I'll give you my opinion now on the I guess these units. The PPSH is great, obviously, because it has a 90 clip, can shoot down a lot of troops, and especially in ambush where it can be very effective in close range because it's got such a high fire rate and so much bullets. You can take it a whole squad, pretty much. And also in close range in shootouts, you can lay a lot of fire onto the enemy. Type 2 Japan SNLF was quite a surprise for me. I don't use elite tier troops too much, but I can see that the Japanese SNLF troops will be quite good, I guess, compared to the other units because their rate of fire is so high and the clip is 50, which is pretty damn good. Another interesting one is the Sten silencer gun, or the Sten V SAS. I believe these want to do well in shootouts because of their health damage, and their rate of fire, I suppose, isn't that much compared to the Soviets. But because the Soviets' high PPSH has got such a high fire rate, it does have less accuracy with some shots, because every time it fires, it has to go up a bit with the recoil. And you have the Owen gun that's pretty good. They were pretty good. The ratings are pretty close, I guess. I suppose when you go down the lower part, Thompson, Stens, MP40s, you can kind of tell. You kind of knew. It didn't really confirm anything to me, to be honest. I kind of knew which SMGs were better. Anyway, but that's the stats, I suppose. If you want rate of fire, definitely the PPSH. You want damage, the Stens, silencer. Overall, I guess, yeah, all these ones up the top are good. I'm a big fan of the Type 100s. I guess all this hasn't been considering price, but the Type 100s I think are really good for their price at 13 MP compared to the Soviets 15 MP PPSH. Fair enough, that's a lot better though, or quite a bit better. So remember, this is an opinion. This is my weighted stat, and it did kind of agree with my opinions before knowing this. And you don't really need to be a good player. You don't need to know this to play good. It was just interesting for me just to see what it was actually in the back end. And I'll show you the actual back end stats, unweighted now. So these are the back end stats as they are. You can see there's some really high figures, such as the rate of fire, 900 for PPSH, travel 490, ammo 71. Yeah, sorry, I got that wrong before. It was actually 71, not 90. And yeah, you can see adding all these as a total won't make sense to give it a right comparison. That's why I've weighted them. But these are the stats you want to know, so you can actually compare it. You can pause it and have a look. And yeah, there you go. So that's it. Remember, it's the opinion again, guys. Don't lynch me if you think it's wrong. Be interested in your opinions, though, to think on what you think was wrong in the ratings and which SMGs you think didn't get a fair say or fair go, or which ones were overpowered or overestimated by my rating. So I'll see you around, guys. Thanks.